Hi everyone, you're very welcome to Classic English Academy Plus. This is another new lesson based on a true story. I hope that you use all these stories, rewrite them, and talk about every of the details with your friends. Yes, of course, you can talk about these to your friends and they also read it, rewrite it, and try to talk and start talking about. You have and you need the samples of how to tell a story, how to bring information little by little, how to expand your story, how to finish your story. These are very important examples as well as you are practicing your grammar, vocabularies, idioms, and special words according to the topic. Today's story is going to help you in another form to think and write a great topic. Let's get in. Story 8 and all about adventure. Yes, well, this is about a very interesting adventure by a very young man. So I put a name on it, young adventurer. Maybe you have never heard such a kind of a thing. Maybe you have seen some kinds of programs on TV about this. Well, but it is true. It is always true that there are some brave people around the world. Well, they can do a lot of interesting things and we cannot forget them. So you can remember this and use this whenever you are talking about somebody who is very, very brave and he or she is a model for you. Okay. He or she has turned into a model for you in life to be strong and never afraid of anything. Even though you made it accidentally, or in fact, you did it on purpose. Let's read this story, you judge about it, and then come back for the details. In 1996, Subaru Takahashi sailed alone across the Pacific Ocean. Many other people did this before Subaru, but he was special. At age 14, he was the youngest person to sail across the Pacific by himself. Subaru left Tokyo on July 22nd, 1996. His boat was 30 feet, 9 meters long. In the boat, he had a 2-month supply of food and water. He also had a radio and other modern equipment for sailing. The beginning of the trip went very well. Subaru often talked to his parents by radio. He didn't have any problems with his boat. Then, on August 11th, the engine in his boat quit. Suddenly, Subaru was without electricity. This affected his navigation equipment. Then, 5 days later, his radio quit. Now, he wasn't able to communicate with anyone. And he was still 2,770 miles or 4,490 kilometers away from his destination, San Francisco. By the end of August, many people believed that Subaru was lost. No one was able to contact him by radio. His parents expected him to arrive in San Francisco on September 3rd, but he didn't. Then, on September 13th, Subaru sailed into San Francisco. After 55 days in his boat, he was safe and sound. His trip was finally over. Okay, I believe that Mr. Subaru is a great man now. Well, he was very, very brave. I never believed that there are many people who are this brave to go for such a kind of adventure and to become such a kind of brave adventurer as young as he was in that time. Well, in fact, there are different personalities traits. There are different people with different ideas. At this age, I never remember that I would go away very far from my house. Well, but he was very different. Excellent, bravo. Well, you can read this story, rewrite this story, recommend it to your friends. They do this again, and then you come talk about these kinds of stories about a lot of different things, and then you see that you are fluent. And you can talk about variety of things, and they are very, very simple for you because you experience them. Now let's see some details. When we were talking about the year, of course, we read it 2 by 2. 1996. We need to bring a preposition. The preposition is always in. Okay? Subaru Takahashi sailed alone. It is simple past with a verb. This verb is irregular because we have ed. Ed is a sign of irregular verbs. We can change the root of the verbs into simple past with ed or a different form, speak like spoke. That is irregular. We do not have any regular, we do not have any rule for it. We need to face, read, use them, and learn them how to use them, in fact. Across, so sail alone across something, or sail with some friends across something. Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean is, of course, proper noun. And the proper noun must start with capital letter. Many other people did this before Subaru. Okay, sail is going to repeat in the second sentence. This is the first sentence, this is the second sentence, but we do not need to repeat sail in the second sentence, but we can bring a, kind of a helping verb to stop and avoid repeating. Yes, of course. If it is present, we say does, because Subaru Takahashi is he, is one person. If it is past, we say did. Subaru, before Subaru. But he, okay, how did I understand that Subaru is a man or a woman? Well, I see, of course, yes, this is, do you remember this pronoun? Subjective pronoun for female and male are different. This is male. Was a special. At age 14, for the age, we must use preposition at. He was the youngest person there with an adjective that adding est. It is a grammatical important lesson. We are going to read it. This is superlative adjective. To sail. Okay, this sentence is in two parts. The first part and the first verb. This is the first verb. Okay, verb 1. The second part of the sentence started with another verb. We need to bring it, sail across. This is verb 2. Look at it. We need to bring the verb with infinitive. Do not touch this verb. You cannot put it in the past or future, will to sail or will sail or anything. No, because the sentence is already in the past. He was the youngest person, and after this, we need to have another verb, okay? No problem. We can put a verb, full infinitive, with to sail across the Pacific by himself. By himself is a kind of an idiom, means alone. You can use, well, this instead of by himself, somehow to show that you have a better group of vocabularies to talk about different things. Subaru left Tokyo on. Do you remember? For the year, we need in. For the dates, we need on. On July 22nd, 1996, if you're producing and introducing a date with a verb, you do not need to say in 1996 again. No, not necessary. But you need a comma here connecting the date to the year. His boat was 30 feet 9 meters long. In the boat, he had a 2 months supply. This is 2 months is a compound adjective for supply. Yes, of course. Of food and water, supply of something, anything. Maybe there are more important things. He also had a radio and other modern equipment for sailing. We do not make this equipments. We do not need s here because this is, yes, uncountable noun. We can use it, well, as one singular or plural noun at the same time. Anytime that is necessary, you can change it. Very, very easy. Okay, here we have another thing. The beginning of the trip. It is the starter of the sentence. The beginning of the trip. You get it? It is a starter. And then we have the verb. The verb is very short, but it is idiom. Go well means we had no problem. The beginning of the week went very well at work. Okay? I can use it in another form. Try to use these idioms in different forms when you are reading this, okay? Try to change it for another idea. You are going to get used to making different ideas at the same time you are reading this. Subaru often or often. Both of the pronunciations are correct. Talk to is another idiom. Look at it. Talk to somebody. His parents, mother and father, so we need S here. By radio, not with radio. This is the preposition for the radio. He didn't have any problems with his boat. Any, most of the time, I say problems. Do you remember simple past and the negative form? We talked about it in last 25 sessions of the grammar lessons. Yes. Then on August 11th, again, we have the months and we have the preposition according to the months on. The engine in his boat quit. It is simple past because quit, quit, quit. In British English, people say quitted too. Yes, they use ed, or you can simply use it as a regular verb. Yes, irregular verb and regular verb. If you add ed, it is regular verb. Suddenly means all of a sudden or out of the blue. Subaru was without electricity. This affected. This is the starter and the effect is the verb. It is a regular verb, ed. Okay, affected his navigation equipment. Affected anything, okay? So equipment is kind of a device and navigation is a matter of finding the ways, where and which way he should have traveled. Then 5 days later, after 5 days or 5 days later, his radio quit because there was no electricity. Now he wasn't able to communicate with anyone. Wasn't able to is equal couldn't. It is another form to say ability. We will talk about this. This is very important in grammar lessons. Communicate means talk to, somehow connecting. And he was still 2,770 miles, 4,490 kilometers. This is or, huh? Yes, of course. You can say any of these two. If you like to make it like British people, you can say and 90 or and 70. But American don't say it. They rarely say it. Maybe there are British people living in America. Away. Yeah, was away. Yeah, say he was away. This is an idiom, and you can put he was still, yes, this miles away. Look at it. In the middle of these, you can put anything. But he was away is an idiom, of course. Look at it. From his destination, San Francisco. The destination was San Francisco. He started from Tokyo to go to America on boat in Pacific Ocean. He was super brave. Alone, 55 days. Just imagine, at night, the sounds of the water and ghosts. Well, I don't like to think about it. By the end of August, many people believed the verb in the past, a regular verb, that Subaru was lost. It is a passive structure. Look at it. We will talk about this. Passive in the past. We will talk about this in grammar. No one was able to. Could. You can say could too here. Contact him by radio. Do you remember the preposition radio? His parents expected him. Yes, I expect you. Okay, I expect somebody to do something. It's an idiom. Look at it. Expect somebody to do something. After this, you need to use infinitive, the root of the verb. But I can change this tense. It is a regular verb. Expect, expected. The noun is expectation. Look it up in the dictionary. It's very important. In San Francisco on September 3rd. On for the, yes, months. But he didn't. Again, we have shortening. We do not need to repeat the main verbs in the second sentence, but didn't is enough really. Then on September 13th, Subaru sailed into. Sail into means arrive by boat. Don't say arrive by boat. It is not very interesting. We don't say this. San Francisco after 55 days in his boat. He was safe and sound. His trip was finally over. Yes, be over. It is an idiom. Look at it. Safe and sound is also an idiom. Was over, am over, is over, and are over. Okay? We say, of course, these two was over and these were over. Okay. Let's make some questions. It's very important. In exams or among your friends, we say, would you please talk about an interesting story that you can't forget it? Would you please? Yes, this is very important to talk about something, and you really need to prepare it in the past. Repeat it, read it, write it, listen to it. Try to think about it. Try to rewrite it. Would you please talk about an interesting story you can't forget? An interesting story you can't forget. Well, you can go on the internet, Google it. Okay, that Subaru in 1990. What did he do and what happened to him? A story you can't forget. You can use this story to come up with some examples in some of the other stories, like, and for a brave person, the person that you like to talk about it. This is very, very interesting. You're somehow going to connect, and in fact, you're trying to connect some stories and talking more and more fluently. These informations are going to help you to produce a better, a faster English. Then you will find yourself a lot more fluent with full self-confidence. You're not going to feel any lack because you have a lot of information and you experience them, how to connect them and talk about them. You produce, and the more you produce, the more you're going to be fluent. I hope that you enjoy this story. Please hit the like, subscribe, and if you put a comment, I would be very, very grateful, and I also appreciate it. See you next session.